Okay, hi everybody. We have another episode of Buzzworthy live from Gillette Stadium. And today we're going to talk to Chip Hoffman. He's the Senior Sales Executive at CallFinder. And Chip, welcome.
Thank you for having me here today, Valerie.
Thank you for having me here today.
Right.
I'm actually your guest. So your role is with sales, obviously, leading the charge. So you're often the first point of contact, right?
Right.
When people
Absolutely.
are looking for your solution. So what are some of the most common concerns or pain points that you hear from the prospects at the discovery phase?
Well, I guess right off the bat is there's a concern in the call center that they're not reviewing very many calls at all. So they're manually listening to just a handful of calls per agent per month. And it's funny, they'll say, our goal is 7 calls per agent per month. And I say, well, how's that goal going? And they'll be like, well, maybe 3, And so they also, they'll have agents that have been there for 10 years, so they feel they don't need to listen to their calls, but they listen to the newer agents. And so that's an issue.
It is. Consistency is key, and when you're just isolating, just taking certain calls from certain folks, you could be missing something. Right. Policies change, details change.
Right. Well, and also a lot of times it's just soft skills that you're working on, and everybody can hone their skills and improve, regardless if you've been there for 1 year, 6 months, or 20 years. There's room for improvement in certain areas.
Right. So, today as folks are shopping for technology and they're walking the floor and they're looking at different vendors and solutions, and there's so many good ones here today, we hear that folks can get burned by technology, right?
Yeah.
So when you hear that, how often do you hear that, and how does that impact your approach?
Yeah. What happens is that they come to it thinking that this is going to be some massive project. It's going to be a 6-month technology root canal that they're going to have to go
There's
through.
A lot of fear.
And it's not. Or they've in the past had an experience that something failed. A lot of times, many of the competitors out there do so many different things, and it's seducing to IT because it's a seduction. IT thinks, well, look, they do it, and they do 10 other things. We can get rid of all the other separate vendors. We can just put it all in one house. But they don't do all of those things really well. And we focus on speech analytics. And so the main thing is it's not a big project. But here's what I heard a lot of today. I heard a lot about, my executives thinks it's a nice to have for the call center.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to have. It helps us save time. Okay, but they don't understand. It really helps the executives to be able to listen to their customers. 100% of their calls. Not just a handful, 3% of net promoter scores. It's 100% of the calls.
Mm-hmm.
You're listening to your customer. Your marketing team is able to listen to your customer. So many of your departments are able to get in on what's happening with those conversations.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think it's really not a good sample if it's just that slim of a selection.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're listening to 3 calls, you don't know what's happening. How many times has the agent come back and said to the manager of the call center, well, you picked my 3 worst calls last month.
Well, what else would you say?
Right. Well, maybe they did, but maybe you're the best agent that they have, but because they picked the 3 worst calls, then that agent starts to get burnout because they feel you're picking on them.
So in your experience, do you think it's the fear of what the project is going to entail that holds people back from making important changes? Do you think it's about that? I mean, right now, I think everyone is overpromising the solution results, right? Everyone's got an answer. Everyone's got a solution for everything. AI is going to fix everything, all your problems, all at once, right?
Right.
And when companies are making the leap to sort of an automated QA process, how do they know when that process isn't working?
I think part of what we provide is that intelligent human. So we assign a speech analyst to every single one of our clients, not just to get it set up, but in an ongoing fashion to maintain their use of the service, to be able to tweak it. Speech analytics is a living tool.
Yes.
It requires ongoing fine-tuning. What your business case is today may not be your business case 6 months from now. And you can't just leave it dropped in the lap of your call center team to then figure out how to maneuver around all of these fine-tuning tweaks that you need to do. That's why there's a speech analyst. Interestingly enough, I've seen it happen more than once, that your management team, there's a turnover in the call center. Who maintains continuity in what's happening with quality in the call center? CallFinder speech analyst who's been assigned to you knows the history of what's happened with your calls and can help your new team step into it much faster than otherwise.
I don't know any centers without a turnover problem. So having that continuity is really key.
Right.
So, I've met with so many members of your team today. Everyone's awesome. You've definitely have a very deep reputation for being hyper client focused. So from the sales perspective, I understand some of the other roles, but from the sales perspective, what does that really look like for you in action?
It's called listening. It's called focusing on where the client is currently and helping them understand where they can be. It's maintaining that relationship to ensure that they stay on track.
So I like to call that the art of what's possible.
Right.
So tell them what it could look like, and this is what it should look like,
Yeah.
and that's how we'll get there. So, you've worked with so many different clients over the years, all ranges of sizes, all types of industries. Can you share a couple examples with me of some of the really impressive results that you've been able to achieve for them? I'll challenge you for a good...
Okay.
Who doesn't love a good case study? Everybody wants to know what the other guy's doing.
Okay, I'll give you 3.
All right.
Okay,
Three.
first one.
Okay.
Small call center comes on board.
Small, define small.
6 agents. Maybe?
I love that you
Yeah.
work in sizes that small.
6. They started out with one of our service levels that supports a smaller call center. They stepped into it. They have grown exponentially. What did they do 2 months ago? They moved to our next level of support. And so now they're able to handle the QA and support their teams. Where they were at 6 agents, I think they're now at 18 agents.
Did
And
they
the
have a
volume of calls
solution
is-
when they met you? Did they have any solution at all?
No,
Was
they
it
were
all manual?
manually sitting and listening to calls.
Stone Age.
Another company in sales. They are a large glass company down in the southeast. They install glass. I did the demo. It's the fastest to sale. Did the demo. Next day they signed the agreement.
Wow.
Within
That does
1
not
year,
happen.
they increased sales. I think they said, I want to say substantial. I'll say substantially. I won't put a number on it. Substantially. I mean substantially.
You're
why?
piquing my interest now. It sounds like
why?
a lot of money.
Because they were able to listen to 100% of the calls. And the problem that they saw was that their agents were not having a call to action for the customer. Are you ready to sign? Are you ready to book the appointment? Taking that simple step moved it. The third one and last one I'll tell
You
you
can't
is
get the business if you don't ask for it. So
exactly
how was that overlooked?
because they only listen to 3 calls per agent per month, if that. Right? You can't see any kind of trends happening. You can't see where is the win happening in this conversation.
Insights, trends, opportunities. So obviously there was a massive opportunity.
Yeah, in sales, it's one of the biggest pitfalls for mostly a new salesperson is ask to sign the contract, ask to close. Are you ready to buy? Right?
Right. But it sounds like they asked you, are you ready to sell them this and get them going?
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing.
Absolutely.
This doesn't
and
happen.
the third and
It's a
final one
bluebird.
is a healthcare company that had been with us for years under collections. They added their patient services. One of the things you can choose to do with CallFinder is send the scorecard to the agent if you want. So they started out, they looked at their scores. They were good. They started sending their scorecard to their agents. Scores went up 6%. just simply because the agent was able to look and go, little self-advocacy. Shifting from a QA that's completely manual, you're slogging through trying to do coaching, you're trying to, work on an Excel spreadsheet here, you get interrupted in the middle of reviewing a call. You put it on the agent's desk, they can see where they're at, they can see where the team is and where they need to improve, and they improve because they want to. But if you don't show them, they don't.
Well, they don't know. So knowledge is power, and they see where they can make improvements. And I think everyone wants to show up and do the best job that they're capable of. And by knowing where they could make little tweaks and improve their performance, you're able to do that.
Exactly.
And they're probably more engaged and happier with their job too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then they're able to be recognized, and all the appreciation and acknowledgement that comes with that. That really goes full cycle.
Okay, a fourth one. Where that healthcare company
Okay.
used us for collections for years, they were able to engage their agents in understanding how to use empathy in collections. Listening, taking a moment to listen. They increase their collections.
And that's healthcare,
That was
insurance,
healthcare.
or hospital
No, that
system?
was healthcare, hospital.
Yeah.
First person. Yeah.
Really important, really important. And empathy is critical, key right there, for
Yep.
sure. Yeah. So last question. What would you tell an executive, a contact center executive that's hesitant to make the changes, but they know deep down that they need to? Would you just tell them, look at these results? What would you do? What's holding you back? How would you address the anxiety around the decision? Because I've seen analysis paralysis, right? I'm
Right.
sure you have too.
Right. We're gonna study this. We're gonna wait until next year. We've got to review this
Budget
and that.
time,
Kick the
Q1.
can down the road.
Yes,
Kick the can
and
down
nothing
the road.
happens and nothing changes. Yes.
Yeah. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Every month that you wait, hundreds, maybe thousands of calls go through. The voice of your customer is lost, and you're relying upon a maybe. How many people called about this last month? Well, I think maybe 30 people called. Why not look at it and get a report on your desk tomorrow morning that says we had 18?
Right. Right.
You know exactly
Data-driven
what's
decisions.
happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then that drives business decisions at the executive level.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, what's your one takeaway from today? What have you seen that's been impressive?
You?
Oh, thanks.
No.
Good answer.
Right. See, I got that right. I think the main thing is people are really struggling. They walk around and say AI this and AI
They're
that. And
so confused, scared,
yeah,
excited,
they think, well, maybe I should
apprehensive.
wait another 6 months and something else will happen. No, it's like focus now. Be here now. Be here now. And do it. And you'll grow with it. But don't wait, because what you're waiting for, something that's going to be out there is not going to
Yeah.
materialize.
So what's that average, if you would say, like ROI generator? So, I know you know what your system costs, obviously, and what can people usually typically expect to see back in gains?
I don't know if you how do you put a dollar amount on something that's going to save, okay, so it saves you time.
Right.
What is your time? If you're more effective in coaching, because you're going to coaching directly and you're not futzing around with Excel spreadsheets and tabulating stuff, but you're more proactive. You can't put ROI on some of those things because you can make an immediate impact with your call center right now. So I'm not going to put a dollar amount on it because I don't know. There's so many
You
different
don't want to put the
aspects.
cost of futzing out there?
Yeah, the futz cost, I don't know. There's so many different KPIs that can be hit.
Right.
What's reducing your average handle time going to impact, and what's the value of that? You were going to hire maybe 2 or 3 more QAs. Make the ones you have more effective.
Absolutely. Well, that's better. It's better. It's leaner. It's meaner, and
Nice.
be better.
Nice, not mean. That's okay.
Yeah. So I really appreciate our time today.
Yes,
This was
thank you.
awesome.
That was fun.
That was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Okay, take
Thanks.
care now.